Good morning, students. Today we shall understand the relationship between respiration and combustion. Students, in chemistry you have studied about combustion reactions, right? So what is combustion? Combustion means burning of any substance in presence of oxygen to obtain heat or light is called as combustion. That is what you learned, right? ఏదైనా ఒక సబ్స్టెన్స్ని ఆక్సిజన్ ప్రెజెన్స్లో మండించినప్పుడు హీట్ ఆర్ లైట్ వస్తాయి. సో ఆ ప్రాసెస్ని ఏమంటారు, ఆ రియాక్షన్ ఏమంటారు, కంబషన్ అంటారు. ఫర్ ఇన్స్టెన్స్, ఇఫ్ యూ బర్న్ వుడ్, వాట్ యూ గెట్ హీట్ యాజ్ వెల్ యాజ్ ద ఫ్లేమ్ లైట్, right? Same is the case with coal, LPG, kerosene, etc. So these are all combustion reactions. Now what we have learnt about respiration, we learned that respiration means burning of glucose in presence of oxygen inside our cells, and in this process also heat and chemical energy ATP are liberated. So can we call this respiration as combustion? So respiration లో ఏం జరుగుతుంది, గ్లూకోజ్ ఆక్సిజన్ ప్రెజెన్స్లో బర్న్ అయ్యి హీట్ తర్వాత ఏటీపీ కెమికల్ ఎనర్జీ లిబరేట్ అవుతుంది. సో ఆక్సిజన్తో రియాక్ట్ అవుతుంది, బర్న్ అవుతుంది, హీట్ వస్తుంది, బట్ కెమికల్ ఎనర్జీ కూడా వస్తుంది. అండ్ ఇఫ్ యూ సీ the products, even carbon dioxide, water are same. In combustion reactions also we get carbon dioxide, water along with heat, light. Here also carbon dioxide and water. So can we call these two processes same? Can we call respiration as combustion reaction? Actually students, there are certain subtle differences between respiration and combustion. To understand those subtle differences, there is an activity given in our textbook. Let us see that activity now. So this is the activity. In this we study about combustion of glucose inside the lab. It is not inside our cells, students. We combust the glucose inside lab. That means it is purely combustion reaction. If this reaction goes on in our cells, it is called respiration, but we are conducting burning of glucose in lab, so it is purely combustion reaction. So let us understand what are the changes that happen during combustion of glucose, so that you can compare this with combustion of glucose inside our living cells, that is respiration. Got it, students? So let us start. So what are the apparatus required for this activity? Wooden stand. This is the wooden stand. Test tube. Two test tubes are needed. This one and this one. Rubber stopper. This one. Delivery tube. Here it is. Spirit lamp. It is not shown in the picture, but we keep it here and heat. Okay. And then glucose crystals. Here are the glucose crystals. Lime water. We take that into this test tube. So these are the apparatus. Now how to do the experiment? Students, take a test tube, add glucose crystals to it and put a stopper, then fix the test tube to the wooden stand as shown in the figure. Then insert a delivery tube so that the other end of the delivery tube dips in lime water present in the other test tube as shown in the figure. So after arranging the apparatus like this, just heat the glucose crystals using a spirit lamp. Okay students, when you heat it, what happens? The glucose will burn, and as it burns we observe certain changes. So what are those? When glucose is burned, we find lot of fumes coming out of this test tube. Some of the fumes, when they touch lime water, they turn lime water milky. Some fumes, they condense in the delivery tube and form water droplets. And finally we observe glucose turning into a black sooty substance that is called as char. So and the process is called as charring. So when we burn glucose or any sugars, we find the formation of this sooty substance. ఎప్పుడైనా గ్లూకోజ్ని కానీ షుగర్స్ని కానీ బర్న్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక మసి లాంటిది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. దాన్ని ఏమంటారంటే చారింగ్ అంటారు. So finally what are our observations? Lime water turns into milky. That says that carbon dioxide is produced. Some of the fumes, they condense and form water droplets. Means what? Water is produced. But initially they are in the form of fume. Why they are in the form of fume? Why they are in the form of vapor? Because a lot of heat is generated. Because of this heat, they are in the form of water vapor, but it gets condensed in delivery tube. Okay, next we observe the blacky substance, sooty substance here. So these are the observations. Now let us compare this with our respiration process, where glucose is burnt inside living cells. So there, what are the products? Carbon dioxide, water, ATP and heat. Here also the products are carbon dioxide, water, heat. But here there is no ATP, so we cannot trap the energy as ATP. Energy comes out as heat. That is one change. Then we don't observe charring inside cells. So muscle antidem cells lo form avadu. That is another change, another difference. Then in case of combustion of glucose, we need to give heat to start the reaction. But in case of respiration, no such initial heat is required. The reaction occurs spontaneously inside our cells. Got it, students? And this reaction is a one-step reaction. When you give heat, it undergoes burning and liberates heat at once, and the products are formed. But in case of respiration, it is a multi-step reaction where heat is liberated in packets, 2 ATP, 4 ATP, 8 ATP, like that. So it is a multi-step reaction, but this is a single-step reaction. Got it, students? Next, one important difference is respiration is going on inside living cells, which contain 70% of water. So combustion of glucose is going on in presence of water inside our living cells. Cells lo 70% water untundi. Ainapatiki combustion of glucose is going on. Glucose is getting burnt. But here, if we take glucose solution, we don't observe these changes. We don't ever observe these changes. In presence of glucose, we can't burn glucose. So combustion reactions won't take place in presence of water. Water presence lo manamu wood ni burn cheyagalama, wood ni water lo dip chesi danni manam burn cheyagalama. But amazingly, glucose is getting burnt in our living cells in presence of water. So that is a great difference. So got it, students? Do you find the differences now? Ikkada heat iste gaani reaction jaragadu, and it is a single step reaction. Ikkada ATP lantidi em form avadu. Next muscle lantidi form avutundi. Then inkenti water presence lo ee reaction jaragadu. But in respiration process, వాటర్ ఉన్నప్పటికీ జరుగుతుంది, మసిల్ లాంటిది ఫామ్ అవ్వదు, ఏటీపీ అనేది ఫామ్ అవుతుంది. అది ఒక మల్టీ స్టెప్ రియాక్షన్. సో డూ యూ ఫైండ్ ద డిఫరెన్సెస్ నౌ? ఐ హోప్ యూ ఫైండ్ ద డిఫరెన్సెస్. అండ్ వాట్ ఈస్ ది కన్క్లూషన్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఎక్స్పెరిమెంట్ నౌ? Respiration is a combustion? No. Respiration is a type of combustion. Got it, students? This is the conclusion from this experiment. Thank you, students. I hope you understood the differences between respiration and combustion.